Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Farming by Satellite Prize 2020 Awards ceremony. Tonight is our highlight event of the program. My name is Florentina Smith, and I'm going to bring you an exciting 2 hours ahead as we hear some keynote speeches from prize initiators, the European GNSS Agency and the European Environment Agency, as well as prize partner CLASS. We're also going to hear presentations from 8 grand finalists and their innovative solutions to improve agriculture with European satellite technologies, namely Galileo, EGNOS, and Copernicus. For those of you joining us who are new to the Farming by Satellite, let me share a few words. So 2020 marks the 5th edition of the program, and it runs every 2 years. The prize itself rewards young innovators exploring the use of satellite technologies to improve agriculture and reduce environmental impact. In 2020, we saw the Special Africa Prize return, which awards young innovators in Africa looking to solve or use satellite technologies to solve local problems. But I'm not going to tell you too much more about the Farming by Satellite Prize because one of our keynote speakers in just a short while is going to share more. So tonight, you can engage with us in a number of different ways. There is the Q&A section through the Zoom webinar that we're on right now. And of course, there's a chat. So if you want to join in and chat to everyone, please do feel free. Maybe introduce yourselves, tell us where you're from, where you're joining us from tonight. And of course, we have activity happening on social media. So if you're posting on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, don't forget to give us a shout out using hashtag Farming by Satellite. And you'll see the hashtag just on the screen in front of you. So you can check the spelling there. And of course, if you manage to find it already on social media, you can use the hashtag to search and follow the stream as we go through. On that, we'll be live tweeting. So we want you to share your thoughts and congratulations as we go through tonight's program. Then finally, we have one more way which we're going to be interacting with you. During each of the keynote speeches, there'll be a poll that will show up, and we're going to ask you some questions throughout the night. We want you to share your thoughts, and we're going to address the results of those polls together with the keynote speakers. So let's get started. Fiammetta. The first words will be going to the European GNSS Agency, and we're joined tonight by Fiammetta Diani, Head of Market Development. Fiammetta's held this role since January 2019. Previously, she was Deputy Head of Market Development. She's been working at the European GNSS Agency since 2009, where she's been responsible for transport and governmental segments while supervising mass market and professional domains, contributing to some of the major achievements in terms of Galileo market adoption and user uptake. Before joining the GSA, she worked in the private sector for more than a decade, both in aerospace and information technology industry. So we're really honored to have you join us tonight from Prague in the Czech Republic. Fiammetta, welcome.
Hello, thank you very much for your introduction. So my name is Fiammetta Diani. I'm the Head of Market Development at the GSA, and I'm very honored to be here tonight to welcoming you, even if virtually, in our house at the GSA. So first of all, let me start with the personal point. As you heard before, I joined the GSA some time ago, more than 10 years ago. And maybe what is not in my profile is that my first task was exactly how to bring our European GNSS to agriculture. At the time, we had no Galileo. Copernicus still have to materialize. It was there, but not in the shape it is today. We had only EGNOS, our augmentation system over Europe. And we started to work with farmers to understand how it can help. And now we are proud to say that it's one of the most used technology in the field and help to optimize many of the operation in agriculture and also help to democratize the use of this technology in agriculture. At the time, we asked ourselves what we can do. And one of the things we had in mind was to involve the new generation. So to involve young entrepreneurs, young innovators like you that can help to bring this new technology in a relatively traditional world like agriculture. So here we are at the 5th edition of this prize. And tonight, the Farming by Satellite rewards young innovators exploring the use of data and services of the European Space Program, Galileo, EGNOS, and Copernicus to improve the agriculture and reduce the environment impact. So this is a joint initiative of our agency, the GSA, and the European Environment Agency. Maybe one word of who we are and what we will become. So today we are the agency that is in charge of service provision of Galileo and EGNOS services, so the navigation systems in Europe. We also ensure the security, and we make what we call the market development. So we work with the users, we have a research and innovation projects to try to make the best out of these services. So they go to the citizens and they materialize the benefit for which they were designed. In the future, from next year, we will become the European Agency for the Space Program, and we will take also additional tasks, especially in the area of Copernicus, again, to help this market development. So to enlarge the user basis of Copernicus, and we hope also to find some new users among the community tonight. So you heard already all the news about this prize, so I will not go in details, and I will leave you to continue tonight. I will come back to announce our winner. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Fiammetta. Great to have you join us tonight. So to tell us more about the prize itself and this year's participant journey, another member of the European GNSS Agency, the market development team in particular, is with us tonight. So Joaquin Reyes Gonzalez is a market development technology officer working in the professional high precision market on EGNOS and Galileo with a focus on agricultural topics. He gained his GNSS technical experience as a system engineer technical assistant at ESA ESTEC after national and international assignments at innovation projects at GMV and Siemens. So welcome, Joaquin. Joaquin, if you would like to just unmute yourself for us, that would be fantastic.
Yes.
There we go.
Hi. I was just testing if you are duly taking care of Florentina. Thanks a lot. Also, I was trying to put the presentation just to explain a little bit how was the prize itself. And in the meantime, I would like to thank everybody for joining us and everybody for being here. Okay, I hope that we will consider that this time is a invested time, and let's try to see how the young people can help us to use satellite technology. Okay, so talking about the prize, I prepare a few slides here. Okay, so basically what we were looking for in this prize, we were looking for 6 different hardware criteria. So we were looking for something innovative, something that we never saw, so something that we can really consider that is new, and also, of course, technical feasible. I mean, we are touching farming. Farming is close to the ground, so we need to really think that what we are awarding here is something that is feasible. The third point is something that is has potential market. I mean, we can put it in the market because at the end, this is what we want to do. We want to help you to introduce your product, your idea in the market. And we would like to evaluate also if this idea has a potential market. Then for the 2 technical points, we are looking for something using Copernicus, as we are saying, and as we are always representing. We have here the satellite technology, and we are also trying to ask you how we can use Copernicus for farming. And of course, EGNSS, we are talking about EGNOS and Galileo all the time, and we want to look for these synergies with Copernicus and how we can use all together. And last but not least, we have the public benefit. I mean, we are in a really strange situation, and we realize that without farming, we have no food. Everybody needs that. And we need to be more efficient with less resources. So we need to really improve the efficiency of what we are doing, and we are looking for a more sustainable agriculture. So we are also evaluating this as an important point. Then, just to give you, I mean, I think that just to be here, all the finalists, they have to be proud to be here, because as you can see, we receive some missions and we receive visits from around Europe and around Africa. So what we have here is really a good example of 8 good candidates that all of them, they can win the prize. So thanks a lot for doing this competition, and just for being able to reach this point. Then also giving an idea about how this is, this nationality were, let's say, distributed. So I am removing the pop-up. Okay, hopefully you will, I think that all of you, you have a poll in your, on your screen, so you can just really vote. And here we have let's say a chart about how these submissions were received and from which country, and how diverse we were in this. And okay, for the lucky finalists, they pretty know, I mean, they know pretty well how this year was. But just for everybody to explain, I mean, what we are doing here is just the last day of a complete year working on this contest. I mean, it's not something that we are doing just in 1 week. The 8 finalists, they were working during 1 year. Everything started on 16th of March. And then we received up to 126 teams submissions. Then we selected the top 18, the ones that they were really the best ones. And then after a live evaluation, we selected 8. And the 8 are the ones that are with us today. So I think that with this, Florentina, we can continue. And again, thanks a lot for all the help. Thanks to all the supporters, to EA, to class, and congratulations to all the finalists, because just to be here, I think that you can be very, very proud. So thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Joaquin. The poll that just popped up is actually for a little bit later in the program, but we have a really interesting question from the audience, from Leo. He is asking us, can you, the GSA, imagine that machines will drive autonomously in the future? And if so, how is that supposed to work? But I think the second part of the question might be a bit too long for tonight, but maybe you could talk a little bit about how the autonomous driving might work, and perhaps in the context of tractors and agriculture.
Okay, I think that if I may, Florentina, today autonomous driving is like, or autonomous machinery is like by default. I mean, everybody when they are buying a tractor or a machinery, all of them, they are basically coming with this automatic steering. And today, up to 97%, so very, very close to the 100%, they are EGNOS enabled, and almost 70% they are Galileo enabled. But here, what we are really having the opportunity is to go further. I mean, what is the next step? I mean, once you have all this automatic steering, what you can do with that? I mean, what we are looking here is maybe using all this technology, Galileo, EGNOS, and Copernicus, for farming management system. In this particular point, the farmer, he will have everything in the smartphone, in the tablet, so he can manage everything from the smartphone. He can control, and what is even more important is to use all this information to take decisions. I mean, now the difficulties is, okay, how the method will come, how what shall I do next year? How, I mean, at the beginning I was saying that we need to be more and more efficient. How you can be more and more efficient if you don't have all the information available on your hand? Then variable rate application. Now the farmer is not only working on the tractor, he can also work at home. He can also decide where he can put the chemicals, or even if he needs to put the chemicals. And with this technology, we can define everything at home, and then go into a tractor and then decide on the spot, or just directly going there, and that's all. And also another application that we are having here is is soil monitoring. I mean, you have all the information coming from Copernicus, but what about going on the field, taking a picture, analyzing, and just cross-checking that what you are able to see with Copernicus is really happening on the real field, and then using this information to correlate all these pictures, and also to submit these pictures to the paying agencies and receive your subsidiaries on time and everything following the process. So yes, Florentina, not only automatic steering, but all the rest are also useful.
Thanks so much, Joaquin. That was really interesting, and I'm sure a few people in the audience might have learned something tonight. So I think we're going to come back to you a little bit later once we get to the awarding section.
Yes, thank you so much. And
so
good luck. And yes, this is waiting for you.
I'm sure they're very excited. So now it's time to hear from the first of our 3 grand finalists for the European prizes of the Farming by Satellite Prize 2020. First up, we have Team Genuine. So Genuine is a unique web application to support farmers to identify the crop borders, crop stress, and to guide tractor paths for optimal fertilization and irrigation. This team of 4 is from Italy, and tonight joining us to tell us more about their solution is Marco Fortunato. Welcome, Marco.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marco Fortunato, and in the next few minutes, I will talk about Genuine Idea. Well, everything started from the consideration that nowadays the agricultural sector is continuously facing an apparent conflict between the need to provide enough resources to support the growing population and the sustainability of the agricultural practices. Studying and analyzing the actual agricultural methodologies, we found 2 main weaknesses points: the intensive and inefficient water consumption and the misuse of fertilizers. Therefore, we started thinking about Genuine in order to improve, in order to support the development of more sustainable agricultural practices based on an optimized use of water and fertilizers. So Genuine is a web application able to support the farmers in different phases of their work. In particular, thanks to Copernicus and GNSS data, we are able to analyze crop health. We are able also to estimate an optimized working route for tractor operations. In this sense, if the farmer follows our route into the real world, he can save water, can save fertilizers, and can evolve towards more sustainable farm practices. But how are Copernicus and GNSS data integrated within Genuine? Well, Copernicus data are adopted to perform an automatic crop border detection based on deep learning methodologies, and they're also used to generate prescription maps based on a spectral index analysis. The study of these prescription maps allows to detect the most stressed areas and to define an optimized working route for fertilizing or irrigating the field. Then, once we go into the real world, the farmer can follow our the optimized route using GNSS technology, in particular eGNSS data. We are offering a real-time standalone algorithm for navigate, which is called GNSS Power. But at this point, can a solution like this one fit, and how this solution fit within the precision farming market? Well, if you look at the global precision farming market size, this was valued at $4.7 billion in 2019, and also an increase was foreseen at least at least until 2022. So this means that this market is growing at the moment. If we analyze genuine targeted applications and we compare these genuine targeted applications with respect to the global precision farming market share, we can state that genuine can support up to 75% of precision market, of application into the precision farming market. So there is place out there for our solution. We have different options in terms of business model and that will help us to reach the scale of the market. At this point, I would like to thank you all for this opportunity on the behalf of our Genuine team, and to let us be here with you tonight and share our idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Marco. Lovely to have you join us, and it was great to hear a little bit more about Genuine. So our next team is looking to establish a space-connected ocean farming system. AI for ocean farming identifies ocean farming threats to mitigate losses and increase the success rate and performance of aquaculture. So this team of 3 is based in Spain, and they hope to optimize the performance of ocean farming, increasing food security and minimizing the overexploitation of ocean resources. Here with us tonight to present is Zara Okbar. Welcome, Zara.
Thank you so much. My name is Zara Okbar, and I will present you the project. Before I start, I would like to introduce the outline of our pitch, starting with the main problem of our pitch faced by ocean farming, then the solution proposed, and last but not least, commercialization. The main goal of our project is to increase the success rate of ocean farms. We intend to achieve the objective by analyzing the feasibility and the threat of the farm in the selected location in order to give some recommendation to improve farming performance. Ocean farming is one of the most promising food industries for helping to feed our growing world population. However, this kind of farming faces several problems such as ocean acidification, harmful algal blooms, invasive species, strong weather conditions that could move and damage the farm, marine litter pollution that could interact with the farm life, and parrot fishing events. The solution proposed here mitigate the impact of these hazards through the monitoring of specific ocean parameters of interest. This idea covers 2 different scenarios: protection of existing farms and feasibility study of a new ocean farm regarding the characteristic of the area. The input data for our solution will be gathered from satellites, specifically from Earth observation programs such as Copernicus and Galileo, in situ devices, and the priori information from database, and it will allow to detect and predict events such as harmful algal blooms and ocean acidification, as well as identify some factors that affect the viability of an ocean farm, such as existence of non-native species in zone under study. Moreover, the project will also take account the traditional farming technique as a threat for marine environment and include recommendation to transform them to be more environmentally friendly. The results of our analysis will reach the user using different approaches. A mobile phone application will be available to receive information of probability of ocean farming threat in an area and feasibility study. This application will use geolocalization to consider the area of interest for the user. Beside our website will be included all the information of the project online. We are open to various business model strategies. The market is diverse and full of opportunities. We intend to use either a B2B model or B2C model depending on the clients. We could sell our technology solution directly to an ocean farmer to monitor the water body of his farming ecosystem, or provide expertise to an engineering office as a technical partner in a joint project. This is the upcoming activities on AI for ocean farming, and thank you for kind attention.
Thanks so much, Sarah. It's lovely to have you join us tonight, and hopefully we'll be talking to you a little bit later. Let's wait and see. So I've had some news from the Twitter sphere that we've got quite a bit of activity happening, some retweets happening. So please do head on to Twitter and follow us on our live chat, or our live sharing there. And don't forget, of course, #FarmingBySatellitePrize. So our next speaker, water scarcity and CO2 emissions linked to pumping water will be really important factors in the future within the context of climate change. So our next team, RVRI, provides a system to detect the level of humidity of the soil and of the crop. So this team of 2 is also based in Spain, and they want to create intelligent systems that don't overload farmers with data, but provide actionable insights. Tonight, we're joined by Sergio Sobrino to share their idea with us. Welcome, Sergio. Looks like Sergio's just sharing his screen. If you'd like to first unmute yourself and then present your screen to us.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Hello.
Perfect.
Nice to be here.
Great. Would you share your screen in full screen mode for us? At the moment, we're just seeing the PowerPoint.
Yes. So, hello, I'm Sergio Sobrino, and I'm introducing reflectometry variable rate irrigation system, RVRI. Agriculture is the largest water consumer in Europe, and it is necessary to assure production and quality of several crops, especially in Southern Europe. Alongside, it is a key element for rural development, as settled population and agro-industry in the surroundings, increasing the manpower requirements. Water scarcity and CO2 emission linked to pumping water will be important factors in the context of climate change. The new Green Deal and post-COVID crisis reconstruction will provide opportunities to develop new products, focusing the optimization of water and energy use in the agricultural domain. Nowadays, rates of irrigation are uniform for all the field, but the fact is that the water requirement changes along the field according to the soil and crop variability. Our objective is to adjust the irrigation rate to the needs of each area and moment to produce the largest yield with the minimum water and energy consumption. Our solution is focused on increasing the irrigation efficiency of linear and center pivots. A pivot is an irrigation machine that rotates around a center and crops are irrigated with sprinklers. The easiest way of change the irrigation rate is maintain a constant water flow and change the ground speed of the machine. Our idea is using GNSS reflectometry to analyze in real time the soil moisture, and once that the system knows the water content of the soil, it adjusts the ground speed of the machine. But how does GNSS reflectometry works? In this technology, we have two main actors. One is the transmitter and the other the receiver. The transmitted signal from GNSS satellites is reflected on the soil according to the characteristics of the reflective surface. The reflected signal is then received by the receiver with extract data about the surface. In this case, the data that we are looking for is the water content, and the reflective surfaces are crops and the soil. Using GNSS reflectometry, our variable rate irrigation system works autonomously without internet connection or human intervention. We also offer a mobile phone application that is a tool that provides information to the farmer. This information can be used by him to take decisions. In our application, he can find crop information from Copernicus, Sentinel-2 imagery, and georeference application maps. And the application can be also used for controlling and monitoring the irrigation machine. This is RVRI, it's autonomous, it's effective, and it works real time. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that presentation, Sergio. So the co-initiator of the Farming by Satellite Prize is the European Environment Agency, and they've partnered with every edition of the prize since its beginning. An agency of the European Union, they're tasked with providing sound, independent information on the environment. Proper management of the environment and supporting long-term transition to a sustainable society requires timely and accurate information on the state and changes in land cover and land use. This is why the European Environment Agency is also in charge of the implementation of the Copernicus Land Monitoring Service and the Copernicus In Situ Data Coordination. With us tonight from the European Environment Agency is Hans Dufourmont, coordinator of the Copernicus Land Monitoring Service. With a master in geography, he initially worked for the Belgian National R&D program for satellite remote sensing.
Hi, this is Antonio Vizcaino from
He
my
became
team.
responsible for geographic information policy development at GIS Flanders. He has since worked for Eurostat GISCO and the European Commission's DG Enterprise and Industry, preparing the Copernicus Land Monitoring Service. Since 2011, he has coordinated the Copernicus Land Monitoring Service at the European Environment Agency. Welcome, Hans.
Thank you very much, Florentina. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for getting the opportunity to present why our environment agency is also interesting and cooperating with GSA in the domain of farming by satellite. I'll try to explain that a little bit from an environmental perspective, because our environment agency is obviously looking to agricultural practices through environmental glasses. And I hope that, yes, this seems to work.
Hans,
Now, why are we
Hans,
so interested?
Hans, I'm very sorry to interrupt you. Unfortunately, we're not seeing your screen right now.
That's weird.
We see a nice blank white screen. So we actually saw it in the previous mode. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Great.
Yeah,
if you'd like to, yeah,
okay.
we can see it perfectly again. So you can keep going. Sorry to interrupt you.
I don't know what happened. Anyway, okay, good. There's a number of reasons actually why we as an environment agency are really interested in cooperating in this domain. And not the least is the fact that we notice in our reports that the status of the habitats in Europe is not really so good, as shown in this graph here. And it's actually even worse if you go through our next report, our latest report, which is the status of the nature report, and that's completely in line also with other international reports, one can see that really a lot of problems occur in that nature domain. So we need to do something about it. And we know as well that in that context, the agriculture plays quite an important role. We need to have really a sustainable agriculture if we want the nature to survive and co-survive together with the economic activities in agriculture. And that's absolutely not yet the case, as we see here in this map of Europe, showing the critical nitrogen inputs in agricultural land. So there's definitely room for improvement in some of the agricultural practices. We know as well that climate change is really about to hit us hard. And so we are also very much active in that domain, trying to understand the mechanisms of climate change and above all, trying to work into mitigation measures. Workshops have been organized. We're working together with DG Klima from the Commission. And as you can see here, the objectives from the Commission to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases are quite demanding and continue to increase in a way. Where initial targets had been set around 30%, we're meanwhile getting over 50% reduction required if we want to mitigate for climate change. That is also why in the agriculture policy, things are changing quite drastically. And in the latest version of the Common Agriculture Policy, it's clear that from one side, it is of paramount importance to continue the production activity of agriculture. After all, it's our food source, main food source. But at the same time, it really needs to become sustainable. And so there's a number of things that need to be changed and where we need to take action. And that brings me to some of the objectives in the European Green Deal. Meanwhile, I would say, well-known policy that the von der Leyen Commission is putting forward for the coming years, and where the biodiversity strategy and the farm to fork strategy will have to cooperate. There's a lot of work to be done to restore degraded ecosystems, to reduce the use of pesticides, to reverse the decline of pollinators, and so on and so forth. So a lot of critical actions to be taken, really. And that is then translated into some of the measures that are presented in this new Common Agriculture Policy. And in fact, what is particularly interesting from an environmental perspective is the so-called good agroecological conditions in that new cap. You see them listed here. I'm not going to go through all of these GAICs, as we call them, but I would like to highlight in the coming slides a number of products that we are developing in the land monitoring service, and which definitely can help supporting to monitor what is happening with regard to these objectives put forward in the GAICs. For that, we use Copernicus Earth observation technology. It's becoming a very important source of information for the European Green Deal, but it's not the only source. We have also a lot of statistics. We have a lot of national in situ data. We have existing networks that need to be better exploited, and so on and so on. So it's really a mixture, and it's quite a challenge to bring all these data together and to better inform our decision makers. Let me start with a product that relates to water, and where we have actually several products that relate to water, and which are products that help supporting the Water Framework Directive, yielding maps with the percentage of water bodies that are indeed matching this requirement of good ecological status per river basin. As you can see from that map, there's still some work ahead of us. Yeah? For that, we have our high resolution layer wetness and water. We have an EU hydro database that is covering 39 countries in Europe. The full river basin systems information is in there. And we intend to further extend our products as shown here in a precursor, I would call it, a case in Ireland, where we would like to include information from Sentinel-2 to better monitor also aspects of surface water quality. So water is indeed part of the information set and the tools that we can provide in and supporting also the common agriculture policy. Let me go to a next product, grassland. Grassland is one of the products that we are producing in our so-called high resolution layers, and you can actually find all of them in the land.copernicus.eu monitoring portal. And these grasslands, the intensity of management of the grasslands are quite important, again, in trying to monitor what is happening and what the impact can be of these management practices on the environmental conditions. We have actually also a recent product. That's one that is fully in production still. It's the so-called high-resolution vegetation phenology and productivity. That's about the status of the vegetation, and that's definitely known to all our candidates that participated to this Farming by Satellite prize. But it's the type of information that allows us to determine if a season, a certain year, comes earlier than foreseen, or if it lasts longer, or if something else is changing as compared to normal. So this product is definitely going to be quite helpful also in monitoring the agriculture practices. Talking high resolution layers, we have a whole set of them. A layer that corresponds mainly with the build-up areas. We have a forest layer, we have grassland. And as you can see in this example, a large patch is still white. What is white here is actually the arable land. And so the next product that we intend and are preparing to produce is annual crop type maps that will again help us in underpinning a lot of the European policies in the European Green Deal. Let me move then to a product that is completely different and yet still part of the Copernicus land monitoring. It's not based on the Sentinel data. It's based on the so-called very high resolution data. That's resolution data of about 2.5 meter spatial resolution. And that allows us to identify small woody features in the landscape, as we call them. With these small woody features, we are actually able to do some assessments of the so-called ecological corridors in the landscape. What you see here in the picture is simply the forest massives in an area in France, in Normandy. And if we include now as well these small woody features, that's actually linear structures of hedgerows and rows of trees and things like that, then you start seeing a pattern in the middle of the picture where there is open areas that are occupied by arable land, but without these hedgerows. And so in between these patches, that's really where we can try to restore, try to reinforce again, ecological corridors that are quite important for some of these good agroecological conditions. And actually, DG Agri from the European Commission is very interested in what is happening in that domain. So they asked us to explore if it's possible to detect even more than the woody features. They would like to get a better view on and monitor better what is happening with stone walls in the landscape, with ditches, with small streams, a whole series, terraces, small ponds, stuff like that, buffer zones actually as well. And so these are all things that we are trying to explore now, and where we believe that the Copernicus Land Monitoring Service in sooner or later, and rather sooner than later, I would say, will be able to contribute to establish even more sustainable agricultural practices than is already the case today. And for those amongst the audience who would not yet be aware about everything that is available in terms of land monitoring products from the Copernicus program, please have a visit to that land.copernicus.eu portal. There you can find the overview of all the land monitoring products, and everything is available to everybody fully, openly, and freely for any kind of use, even included the commercial use of the data. And that's a great asset really of this European space program, which definitely will continue to contribute to improving agriculture policy. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'd like to hand over again to Florentina.
Thanks, Hans. Don't run away just yet. We have a few questions. It's been a very interesting presentation and the audience have been thinking away. But actually, before we jump to the questions, I would like to let you know the results of your poll. So tonight, you asked the audience what proportion of natural habitats are assessed to be in poor or bad state of conservation. And actually, the majority selected 30%. I was wondering, do you have some thoughts on that?
Yes, I have some thoughts of that. That actually shows that there is a huge, but really a huge underestimation of the seriousness of the situation with regard to natural habitats, because in reality, we're close to 75% of the natural habitats that are in a poor or bad state of conservation, according to the State of Nature report, which is a report to which all of the European member states contribute. And I would like to refer again to that one phrase on one of my initial slides, where it was stated that we know that the climate change crisis is gonna hit us hard, unfortunately, but the biodiversity crisis might actually hit us equally hard as the climate change crisis. So it's high time really to do something about it. And it shows really in this poll how we need to continue raising awareness about the importance, because without a sound status of the environment, also the agriculture practices will be threatened ultimately. And that's the last thing we would like to happen. We are pleading in the Environment Agency to find a sound equilibrium between defending a good status of the natural environment and these natural habitats in combination with having a sustainable agriculture on the long term.
Thanks, Hans. I think it's been so interesting. Someone has actually asked us, where can they access this data and is it available for free?
yes, the State of Nature report is available for free. It is available on the website of our agency, which is eea.europa.eu. So EEA from European Environment Agency.europa.eu. And if you dare search for a State of Nature report, you will definitely fall not only on the report, but on a wealth of other data and other reports that our agency is co-producing together with actually not only the member states of the European Union. We work with 39 countries, so we extended beyond the European Union, so to speak, trying to cover as much as possible from the full European continent.
Thanks, Hans. And if I may, I might send one more question your way before we move on. So one of the questions is, well, can you explain the usefulness of European satellite data in monitoring climate change? It's a big question.
I'm not at all an expert in climate change, but in the Copernicus program, we have actually a climate service that is run by colleagues from the ECMWF in the UK, which is the European Centre for Medium Range Weather Forecast. And so these guys have been tasked to analyze the satellite data. What they basically do is collect loads of satellite data in so-called time series. To explain it very rudimentary, they collect it in time series and they analyze these time series in order to detect some trends. And it's the detection of these trends and the reanalysis also of a lot of historic data to go even back in time even further than with just the recent data, that one can try to reconstruct long-term trends. And it's actually through these trends that it becomes possible to see in which direction the climate is likely to evolve. So that's a service on its own. It's quite interesting actually to see what kind of products they provide. It's all based on the satellite data, some of them in combination also with in situ data from measurement networks across the globe. And you can easily access it through the website climate.copernicus.eu.
Thanks so much, Hans. And for those of you joining us who don't know too much about Copernicus, there are actually 6 services. So there are a bunch of different information services that you can use that are stemming from Copernicus data and managed by the Copernicus program. So I think it's now time to move on to 2 more of our grand finalist pitches. So did you know that 1/3 of water used in Europe goes to the agricultural sector? Well, in Spain, that number actually rises to almost 80%, and part of it is wasted and or contaminated by the poor fertilizing practices of farmers. So our next team to present, Graniate, they offer a web application for agronomists and farmers to conduct weekly monitoring of their crops to improve irrigation and fertilization practices. This team of 2 have the vision to bring more sustainable agriculture to Southern Europe. Presenting on behalf of the team tonight is Pablo Romero. Welcome, Pablo.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Pablo. If you would like to share your screen for us. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Pablo Romero, the CEO and co-founder at Graniate. Let me introduce you what we do. Did you know that 1/3 of the water used in Europe goes to the agricultural sector? Well, in Spain, this percentage is almost the 80%. Part of this water is wasted and contaminated, but there is also the loss of fertile soil that is the 30 tons per hectare and per year. This is due to traditional and bad agricultural fertilizing practices. So small and medium farmers are not deeply aware of these problems, and they are a huge number in every country. So how do we solve it? Well, we facilitate the work of their trusty person. They are the agronomist. Through a web application, they can weekly monitor the state of their crops. They can also see data from the last years, and they can communicate between them, farmers and agronomists. In that way, we save the time and improve the decision-making of the agronomist so that farmers can increase the crop performance by reducing the waste of several resources. We use technology from several European programs. Sentinel-2 and Sentinel-1 are satellites from the Copernicus program. From them, we get vegetation indexes, moisture parameters, and interferometry and cloud data. We are also offering a geolocation service that our farmers can use to geolocate themselves in real time, directly in the yields. And also they can georeferentiate the documents and photos that they upload to our platform. And last but not least, we also can integrate data from the public sector and also from private sensors from other companies into our platform. In the end, by improving one person's work, we make a more sustainable agriculture and a better world to live in. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Pablo. I think I even stole your introduction without knowing.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I apologize, but you did a great job of reinforcing
Don't
that.
worry.
Okay, so let's move on to our next pitch of the evening. The grand finalist. So this is our last grand finalist for the European prizes tonight, and their name is Harvesting Prizes. So these two team members behind this idea believe that sustainable agriculture practices should be rewarded directly to the farmer. Their idea is a tool that integrates all variable rate application files for every land parcel in a farm, and they're proposing a new way of subsidizing farmers according to their actual performance as recorded by their machinery. So to tell you exactly how this is done, Antonio Vizcaino is presenting to us tonight. Welcome, Antonio.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Antonio Vizcaino from my NEA team, and I'm delighted to be here today to talk to you about my proposal, Harvesting Prices, which consists of the following. First of all, we realize that there are several problems. It exists a lack of tools of variable rate application data analysis. Secondly, financial results are delayed with respect crop observation, and there is a lack of direct link between actual agricultural practices and reward coming from CAP. This opportunity arises from the European strategies Farm to Fork and Green Deal. The solution proposed is an FMIS tool that allows us to integrate all variable rate application files for every parcel in the farm. It is also able to translate, It will integrate variable rate application data with yield information, market prices, and objective reward rules in order to obtain a gamification through a kind of profit monitor. This will be the model of image we will obtain. You can find special prices at different places where the sustainability rates are high. This proposal will use GNSS positioning data to localize all the user and link all variable rate application maps. The solution proposed is an FMIS tool that allows us to integrate all variable rate application files for every parcel in the farm. The tool will provide authenticated location and time thanks to Galileo Open Services. It will also provide real-time information about the financial and environmental assessment, and all the information coming from ISOBUS Task Control Geo will be accessible through the cloud. Special prices could appear to reward farmers doing sustainable intensification, high yield with low inputs. This proposal will use GNSS positioning data to localize the user and link all variable rate application maps. For the rewarding system, a robust procedure should be implemented to avoid fraud. Using Galileo Open Services measured authentication feature will provide authenticated location and time. Before harvest data is available, income would be estimated based on Copernicus Sentinel-2 images. yield forecasting will be updated based on linear models with data from previous year for the same parcel and farmer. Regarding to the market, those are the potential stakeholders interested in the solution. Farmers, they will obtain real-time and georeferenced information of their crops. Food consumers, nowadays, consumers tend to look for food with low levels of fertilizers and pesticides. Institutions and third parties like NGOs, for example, machinery and manufacturers interested in gathering and exploiting variable rate application data, and the last one, data brokers interested in data collection. Commercialization is foreseen to begin with a consortium with farmers, vendors, and a spin-off company that will develop the product using an iterative methodology. Total commercialization can achieve up to 230 million euros per year coming from farmers, European CAP budget, and machinery advertising for subscribers. To summarize, farming correctly, we all win. Thanks for watching.
Thanks so much for your presentation, Antonio. So another recurring sponsor of the Farming by Satellite Prize is CLASS, one of the world's leading manufacturers of agricultural engineering equipment. Headquartered in Germany, they're the European market leader in combine harvesters. The CLASS product portfolio also includes state-of-the-art farming information technology. With us tonight to tell us more about how they're using satellite technologies in precision agriculture is Frank Drexler, Head of Sales and Services at CLASS eSystems. A business school graduate, Frank joined CLASS Group straight out of university as a trainee and then took on the role of sales promoter in the international marketing department. He then became project manager for new media before taking up the position of head of marketing communication at CLASS. He's since held the roles of head of sales across a number of departments, including CLASS Agro Systems and CLASS eSystems. So welcome, Frank. Frank, if you're with us, please unmute yourself so we can hear you.
Yeah, so hopefully you can hear me now. Thank you for the introduction, Florentina.
Yes, we can hear you. We just need you to present your, perfect. There you go.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to give you an update about some activities CLASS is using with this satellite data. And the title of my presentation is Industry Use of Satellite Technologies in Precision Agriculture for More Economical and Greener Farming. So first, I would like to start to give you an update about the motivation for CLASS to use satellite technologies. Then I have 3 examples how we use this technology in our product offer. And finally, I would like to give you a short summary. Yeah, what is the motivation for CLASS? So we are known as the combine harvester specialist, and we started in 1936 with the first European combine harvester, which was a big milestone in automation of the harvesting process. And that was always a driving force for CLASS to look for latest technologies, to look for improvements, to look for a better efficiency and ensuring a better harvest. So when we look at today's situation, then we see that the world population is growing. And on the same side, the agricultural area is shrinking. So this is a big challenge. So we see eating habits are changing and people are mobile and globally networked. So on top, the climate change is steadily proceeding, and we have renewable energies which are sometimes in competition with food production. So we see there are a lot of global agricultural megatrends which are giving a lot of pressure to our agriculture. So we are a machine producer. So in the past, we had a strong focus on improving our machine performance. So the next generation was always stronger, broader, and also more heavy. But then we found out that there is a limit because the machines have to be more efficient, more intelligent, more smart to fulfill the requirements of the future developments. And that was giving a trend change also within class. Of course, we are still a machine producer, but we see that with the next step of moving forward, we have to look better, or we have to get a better impression of our whole plant production cycle. So when we want to be a harvesting specialist, we have to look at the whole process of plant production, starting with seeding, with fertilization, with plant protection, and then of course at the end showing up with our combine harvesters. And this was giving us a different approach to the segment of our business. So when we want to do this successful harvest, we analyzed more deeply the different steps of the plant production. And we see that there are new tools requested, which are more sophisticated than just having some steel and iron. So we need to have additional tools and services like we have with our Agrocom management software since some years. We have fitted telematics systems on our machines to get connectivity. We have cooperations with 365 FarmNet management software, and we have further solutions in terms of precision farming services like crop view, yield mapping, and soil sampling. So when we look at these different applications, you are all aware that we have a big trend in the machinery business, which is GPS steering. And I remember roughly 15 years ago, that was completely new. And on the first Agritechnica, where we presented the GPS steering applications, the farmers looked at me and said, "Do you think we are stupid to need a computer to drive straight?" So that was in the beginning. It was not clear how this will become a trend or not. But now we see that nearly all big tractors of 200 horsepower plus are in standard fitted with GPS steering. So this has become a standard technology thanks to not just the GPS satellites, but also thanks to EGNOS and Galileo, that we have services which make these applications straight and reliable and also affordable. So GPS is one of the main driving forces to increase our efficiency on the machine side. But if we look further, then we see that data management is also becoming more and more relevant. And this was driving us to have a project called Data Connect, because we see that all our machines are selecting and connecting with their machinery to the management, to the office, and they are transmitting a lot of data. But typically, the world is not always as nice, sea green as you see it here on this picture. So typically, we have mixed fleet on the farm running, where we have machines from Claas, from John Deere, from CNH, from others. And there was, of course, a big request of farmers to connect these different machines and to have an access and a transparency of data, either whether it's a Claas or a different brand. And this was a clear request we received, and the farmer was clearly indicating that he would like to have one web-based portal to use his mixed fleet. And in the past, that was not possible because he had to access different systems, and it was not just available in one system. So he wants to have a merge of the data of the different brands of machines. But, and this is also important, he wants to keep control about the data flow, because the farmer owns the data and we are just offering some infrastructure. And this was the aim of Data Connect. And we defined a project with one of our biggest competitors, John Deere, because they had the exactly same request from their customers. So we would like to wanted to have an opportunity to merge the data of the Claas and John Deere machinery. And this was not possible in the past before starting this Data Connect project. And one very important infrastructure tool to do that was also, again, GPS positioning. Because if we want to have a fleet management, then it's not just important to know what the machine has done, whether it's a Claas or a John Deere, but where it has been done. And this was a very strong driving force to connect the clouds of the Claas and the John Deere and also the 365 FarmNet to make data visible. And this you can see here on these two screenshots. So you see here one screenshot of the John Deere Operation Center, where you have Claas and John Deere machines visible within one screen. And the other way around, this is also how we display tracks in the Claas telematics portal. And this was really a very big step forward, because we are now able to transmit different information, and especially the historical and current location based on GPS data, based on EGNOS correction data, which we are using to have this transparency of the fleet. And we have some more data like vehicle speed, like the machine and work status or the fuel level, which is used to indicate the current status of the fleet and to give the farm manager a much better overview and transparency about the status and about what's going on his field. So this was launched on the last Agritechnica, and this was really a big breakthrough because in the past, of course, Claas and John Deere were not cooperating in this kind of manner. And after presenting this concept to others, CNH short-term decided this is a great approach. We want to join, and they're also part of Data Connect. And this is an open approach. So we are hoping that other big OEMs are joining. But this is also another example of applications which are using different technologies, but the positioning system of GPS and EGNOS and Galileo is one very big and important point how to let that happen. So that was the second example where we use satellite-based technologies. And last not least, we are not using just only the positioning of the satellite with CropView. We have a service which is giving an online monitoring to our farmers, because we see that the farmers have a lot of challenges in his daily operation. So he wants to be aware about the vegetation development on the field. And it was not so easy to have, especially in bigger farms, the up-to-date information about the different status on his fields. And in the past, he had to do a uniform treatment. So it was not possible to separate or to differentiate between the different areas of the field. And of course, this was not giving the best results in terms of profit, but also especially in terms of environmental impact. So there was a big challenge from the farmers to have a better overview about the current situation on the field. And so the request was that we don't have to offer very sophisticated tools. The clear aim of farmers was they wanted to have a very simple and low-cost entrance solution. And they wanted to have online monitoring of the in-field vegetation differences. And with this, we had a very good solution offered by the Sentinel-2 data, because these data is updated very, very often and can be used for this specific application. And so we have a very good field performance with our solution. And so this is a very great online precision farming tool that lets farmers monitor in-field vegetation differences based on Sentinel-2 data to create application maps. And this is accessible not just all over Europe. So the Sentinel data is available for all farmers around the globe. And this is really a very great solution. And we are happy that thanks to this development, we can offer our farmers this service. Yeah, so CropView is a great entry-level solution for our customers. And what is it doing exactly? So on the first side, we can show our customers vegetation maps. So we have single date NDVI maps, which are displaying the situation on the field, and the customer just have to add his field boundaries, and he can see then the individual situation on his personal fields and prepare some different actions based on that. We can have potential maps, and this is also a big benefit because we can use the data from long term, as the Sentinel data is now available since a couple of years. We have really here long-term trends to see the different vegetation situation over a longer period of time. And last not least, of course, we can do application maps, because that was also a request, and we have experiences with our yield maps since many, many years. When you're just documenting something, then it's interesting to see. But only if you're able really to create application maps and to transmit the decision into action on the field, then you have the real benefit. And this is also then closing the circle, that with the application maps of CropView, we can transfer this information on the machine, and then thanks to GPS steering and GPS variable rate application, we can have a very precise and proper application of the decisions on the field. Yeah, so these are 3 applications we are using based on satellite technologies. And I would like to summarize that with one chart, because of course, class is still focused on machinery production. And our aim, of course, is to have good success with our machinery business, not just with combines, also with forage harvesters, tractors, and other implements. But if we look at the combine harvester, the class claim is ensuring a better harvest. And therefore, we provide, of course, a very good machine. But what we also have to keep in mind is when the harvester is coming, then all decisions are made. All good or bad decisions are made, and all weather happenings did take place. And therefore, that was a clear strategic decision of class to use tools, satellite-based tools, that we can have also a very more precise cultivating and seeding, that we can have better fertilization used based on sensors like the crop sensors, but also based on tools. And of course, we need hardware on the machine, like the S10 terminal with all the electronics to make it happen automatically and very simple to use for the driver, for the farmer. But this is technology linked to the machine. This is a classical field where class is, of course, working on. But we see that we need much more, because the soil is giving the fundamental potential of all the results that we can get. So we are offering since years, we are offering soil sampling services also based on satellite positioning systems. We are offering a lot of software and documentation systems, and all of them are GIS linked, and for all of them we need satellite-based solutions, whether it's GPS or whether it's CropView. And you see we have good development in offering new services. CropView is offered now since just a few years, and we are working on further solutions and further services, because we believe that this is very important for our farmers to rely on these services and to connect these services with electronic technology to our machinery to have at the end a very good result and to fulfill our claim, ensuring a better harvest. And therefore, we are very happy and we are very proud to be a sponsor of this Farming by Satellite prize, because you as the young innovators, you as the people from Europe, but also, and this is really very good also to have people from Africa who are working and who are participating in this prize. And your ideas are highly appreciated, because we need your good ideas for maybe the next generation of good solutions which we can offer as class. And therefore, this is really great to have this award here. And this is really great to have so many good innovative proposals. And thank you very much for that. And I'm really looking forward to see who has then at the end won the prizes. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Frank. And I think it's great to have class as a sponsor on board to bring this industry connection here for the participants of the prize, particularly this year. So tonight we asked the audience, or you asked the audience, what they think the precision agriculture products and services from class could be. So the majority of people said that they believe class do satellite-based steering solutions, so almost 50%. But however, there was also yield mapping, GPS soil sampling, and application maps for seeding and fertilization. So I was listening along, Frank, so I know the answer here, but maybe you can tell us what the correct answer or answers might be.
Yeah, Florentina, the good news is all the answers are right, because we are offering all these different services as presented in my short presentation, because we believe that this multi-use of different services is giving the best benefit to our farmers. And of course, we have closely linked solutions like GPS steering to our machinery business, but also other services are giving additional value and giving the full benefit to our farmers. Thanks.
Don't run away. I have a few more questions for you. So we had some questions from the audience, and someone in particular asked, do the farmers see the satellite imagery or only the information derived from it when they're using your services?
So we believe that for most of the farmers, it's important to have some consolidation of the data. So we are creating these vegetation maps, we are creating these application maps, and we have a strong focus on keeping that really easy That's a claim also of our solutions. So we don't believe that it's interesting for the farmers to get raw data, which is accessible for everybody. We're having focused solutions combined in the crop view approach, and this is giving best success to our farmers.
Thanks. And talking about crop view, another one of the questions were, how do they actually see this crop view? Is it on their phone, or is it a map viewer that's built into a tractor?
So when you want to have access to a crop view, it's very simple. We are offering this service via 365 FarmNet. So just go on the 365farmnet.com website. There you can find the application, and there you have full access, and there you can test it and check it out if it's working well for you. And this is the easiest way to get it.
Great. Thanks so much for your time tonight, Frank.
You're welcome.
So for those of you following us live here, questions that haven't been answered in our question and answer session here, they've been answered in writing. So you can always head along to the Q&A button inside the Zoom meeting here and see what's been answered and what's been asked as well. So just to let you know, we've reached 5,122 impressions on Twitter by now, and we're still growing. So don't forget to jump onto Twitter, use the hashtag #FarmingBySatellite. You can even follow the account so that you'll get notifications in the coming days as we announce the winners and celebrate everyone's success. Now, this brings us to the 3 grand finalist presentations for the Special Africa Prize. Now, first up, the Baobab solution combines weather models and Earth observation data to support crop management by farmers. It exploits satellite technology to directly deliver timely and accurate weather forecasts to farmers. So this team of 4 have the vision to significantly improve farming activities in Uganda. Here with us tonight to share more about how they will achieve this vision is Alessandra Mascitelli. Welcome, Alessandra.
Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure for our team to be here to show our proposal. Let me introduce ourselves. We are a team of 4 young researchers, mostly involved in a European Horizon 2020 project, focused on water management in some parts of Africa, including Uganda, where during the project activities, a network of low-cost GNSS devices able to track also the signal of Galileo constellation was deployed to support meteorological studies. Okay, it is precisely the impact that the meteorological and climatic phenomena have on agriculture that sparked the idea that guided our proposal, which is indeed focalized on Ugandan area, where agricultural system appears to be periodically affected by intense weather events. Meteorological extreme events are projected to be more frequent with climate change, and this has an evident impact on the activities related both to export and production for local markets. So the aim of our proposal is to provide proper weather information to enable farmers to take action to prevent and reduce damages in case of extreme events. Okay, to do this, meteorological variables augmentation to be assimilated in numerical weather prediction models is necessary in order to provide more confident and precise results. To this end, our proposal considers the assimilation in numerical weather prediction models of both conventional data sources, like, for example, ground-based weather station, and non-conventional one, like, for instance, data obtained by Sentinel images and data from GNSS, in particular Galileo. The model output will help to prevent delays in crop protection measures and enable better management of farming operations. The design products will be particularly useful for risk assessment and alerting farmers through scalable solution and appropriate interface. The service will be in fact directed to different targets in proper design forms. Okay, to sum up, our vision is to promote better decision-making in agriculture based on European satellite data and improved weather forecasts. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Alessandra, and thank you to your team for your application to the Farming by Satellite Prize this year.
Thank you.
So our next team has a solution to help farmers produce one of our favorite drinks, coffee. GeoEmini helps farmers assess differences in their fields over time and location. It specifically looks at the assessment of coffee farms in central Kenya, identifying areas where farmers can be supported to increase yields. This team of 2 have the goal of providing African farmers with access to geoinformation in just one click. Here tonight to present their idea is Stella Mutai. Welcome, Stella. Stella, if you're with us, please just unmute yourself and then we might be able to hear you.
Sorry. Hello, my name is Stella Mutai from Kenya, and together with my colleague Piero Massotti from Italy, we are here to present our project on use of Earth observation in monitoring coffee farming in Kenya. So, coffee is a main cash crop in Kenya and has been experiencing of late a decline. This is because of diseases such as pests and also diseases such as coffee berry diseases. Also, another thing that you can attribute to the decline in coffee production is that there's lack of knowledge and financial support and resources that will enable to detect coffee plantation at early stages. And that's our solution, focusing on Sustainable Development Goal Section 2.4.1, which is production of agriculture under sustainable agriculture. We are focusing on the use of Digital Earth Africa, which is an upgrade of the African Regional Data Cube, and together with the use of drones. So the use of Digital Earth Africa provides a connection between data, users, and applications, and this provides analysis-ready data, thus it is saving on time, cost, and effort. We're going to be using, by the use of Digital Earth Africa, we'll be able to determine or to use vegetation indices and textural variations so that we can be able to determine the type of diseases the crops are facing. The images that are used by Digital Earth Africa, because it provides a user interface using Jupyter Notebooks, it covers Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2 images across the whole of Africa. So that means that beyond agriculture, you can also use Digital Earth Africa in doing other various studies such as land use management, urban assessment. Also, we realize that when we do vegetation indices in determining crop diseases, the biggest problem is at the early stages of the coffee production, whereby we cannot be able to differentiate coffee from other types of cash crops. Thus, the use of drones became a very key part to us, and that is why the drones that are equipped with IGNOS, which has a GPS Galileo, will be able to determine and give us more detailed information on the specific type of crop, whether it's a cash crop, and also if the cash crop, what type of diseases, because there are various type of leaf crop diseases for coffee that are being experienced. And thus that analysis will be fed into the Digital Earth Africa and can be able to do our analysis. Also, we'll be able to use the Global Navigation Satellite System, GNSS, in our fields, in collecting our field survey samples. We did a pilot study in one of the places in Kenya that grow crops, and this you can be able to see just as a number of small farms, and we are able to use Sentinel-2 in determining the time series analysis of the vegetation greenness of each farm of coffee over time between the period of 2018 to 2020. Also, another way we were able to do is assess the differences in different times of season to determine the vegetation indices. That's at the start, at the peak, and the end of the season. Why is this very important to us? Because this can be able to be fed into decision making to the county government, to the farmers, and also to the decision makers who are policy makers or the funders into what are the optimal times to do planting, to do harvesting, also what are the optimal seasons and the type of harvest that they're supposed to use. And list of all is going to be used in climate, understanding which climates are suitable for our coffee. Last but not least, our competitive landscape will be by use of Digital Earth Africa, because it's an open platform, it provides free images. So no need anymore to purchase satellite images, because it provides free images of Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2, and equally also some Landsat. Also, another thing, there's no need, no more to spend time downloading data. Thirdly, the imageries provided are compressed already, geocoded, and they have Python notebooks, and the Python notebooks have training manuals for the user, so it can be very easy. Last but not least, the stakeholders who have lacked data for decision making, not only in agriculture, but in various such as urban planning and other types of use, can be able to use Digital Earth Africa. Last but not least, this is just a summary of how Digital Earth Africa covers the whole of Africa, provides images into compressed form, and in the product or the final product is the satellite analysis ready data. Our main theme is to provide access to geoinformation in one click. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Stella, for that presentation.
Okay.
So our final team for the night is Herds Assist, with a new way of grazing management for farmers to lessen the land competition in Africa. They have an idea for a mobile application to inform farmers where their animals are and to find other farmlands. This team of 3 hopes to provide the digital grazing management tool for farmers around the world. Presenting their idea to us tonight is Odunayo Adini. Welcome, Odunayo.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adeni Odoyan David, and I'm representing my team to talk about Herds Assist Hub. Due to various problems in Africa as a result of climate change, land degradation, inaccessibility to routes to water availability, this has resulted to farmers and herdsmen clashes in various parts of Africa. And this has resulted to 50% lesser productivity in animal production, 30% malfunction crops as a result of animals intruding into farmland and destroying their farm. And also again, 20% population either died or lost their homes as a result of these clashes between farmers and herdsmen. And because of this, we are producing a smart solution in which is using a mobile application for managing grazing grazing activities in such a way that our mobile application will be helping in locating and migrating the herders and the animals to pastoral land, and also again give a signal of out of areas for herds. And also again, it's our application, our mobile app will be forecasting grass seed and the time in which crop harvesting will actually take place in order for the herders to collect crop residues that can be used for aid for feeding their livestock. And what makes our application so unique is that it is incorporating components that monitors the animals' movements with the help of our virtual fencing, in which the animals will not able to leave their boundary and intrude into farmland. And also again, the app is incorporating with pastoral land for herdsmen and predicting the time in which harvest of crops can be taken for them to collect hairs from the farmland to feed their animals, and also again to estimate the amount of possible grass that can be grazed from a pastoral land per time. And this is how we are incorporating land use and land cover maps from Copernicus Global Land Service in connection with observation data which is observed from drones, will be used to classify between the pastoral land and water availability, and also again the farmland, so that this will be differentiated and animals will be able to find their routes to the pastoral land. And also again, Sentinel-2 satellite imaging will be NDVI, vegetation indices such as NDVI, will be derived from Sentinel-2 satellite images in order to estimate the amount of forage per time, and also get to estimate the time of harvest. Also, Galileo receiver will help in terms of navigating the herders to the pastoral land, and also again help in the virtual fencing by connection with the virtual fencing band on the animal's neck. Also again, we noticed that there are about 225 million pastoralists in Africa. We tend to market our products with them, hereby convincing the federal and state government of each country to see our application as a solution to the current herdsmen and farmers clashes in their country. And we tend to commercialize our products in such a way that there will be 6-month free trial after users have registered, and we are going to be charging a monthly subscription and annual subscription after the trial has been elapsed, and also again give opportunity for farmers to actually advertise their products. And this is a short video about how the application will look like. In summary, Earth Assist uses satellite and mobile technology to guide Earthmen in locating pastoral land and water for the animals and estimate the amount of forage on the pasture and crop residues before crop harvest for hay. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Adonai. Great to hear your presentation this evening.
You're welcome.
So now the part we've all been waiting for, some more than others, because our grand finalists have been moving through the competition stages since mid-March this year. From the written applications to their pitch deck development and live virtual pitches, each of our teams have worked hard to be with us tonight. So we're super excited to share the winning teams with you. We'll start the awarding with the Special Africa Prize 2020, and then we'll be moving to the awarding of the European prizes. So just a reminder to ask all panelists that during the announcements to please unmute yourself so we can all celebrate together. Now to announce the winner of the Special Africa Prize. First of all, the prize itself is €1,000. So I'd like to invite Joaquin back to the virtual stage to make this announcement.
Okay, hello everybody. Hopefully you can see me.
Yes, we can.
Okay, and you can see the wonderful trophy.
We can, it looks amazing.
I mean, I think that Florentina, just to give also the opportunity on top of the money that okay, everybody, I think that everybody will be happy to have it. You will receive, the winners will receive the trophy that is 100% sustainable. As far as I know, is wood and recycled plastic, plus a certificate that you can share in the social networks. And last but not least, even most important one, you will become member of the family of the winners of Farming by Satellite Prize. That, as Florentina was saying, is the edition number 5. And you know, I think that this is also another opportunity to make more contacts and trying to really start with your idea and try to make it real. Okay, so are we ready?
Yes, we are. Let's go.
Let's go. So shall I go or shall I wait a little bit more?
I think you've teased them enough.
Okay, so the winner of the Special Africa Prize 2020 and the one that we received this trophy offers farmers the opportunity to assess differences in agricultural fields over time and location, as well as vegetation phenomena such as planting and harvesting. More specifically, they look at the assessment of coffee farms in central Kenya, supporting farmers to increase their annual yields. So our congratulations are going to GOM-E with the team of Stella Mutai and Piero Massotti. So congratulations.
Fantastic. Thank you, Stella. If you would like to come back and join us and share a few words.
Thank you so much. I am grateful to God, to the GM&E team, and to our supervisor, Dr. Kenneth Mobea, the User Engagement and Digital Earth Africa, and also to our boss, Arthur Mabiso, Eliva Mundi, and to the entire team that Challenge 2020. We are really grateful.
Okay,
thanks,
so congratulations. This is going to you.
Thank you.
Our congratulations once again. So you'll receive the trophy and some certificates in the post. And of course, we'll be providing you and the other 2 grand finalists with some certificates so you can share this with everyone on social media.
Thank you. Looking forward.
Okay.
Fantastic. So let's move on to the European prizes. We're going to start with the 3rd place winner of the overall prize. So the 3rd place winner is going to get €1,000 for the team as well. And to award this, I would like to invite Frank Drexler back to our virtual stage to make the announcement. Are you with us, Frank?
Yes, I am, Florentina. So the third place winner of the Farming by Satellite Prize 2020 identifies farming threats to mitigate losses and increase the success rate and performance of farming systems. However, their solution looks at farming in a very special environment, aquaculture. This team hopes to optimize the performance of ocean farming, increasing food security and minimizing the overexploitation of ocean resources. Congratulations go to AI for Ocean Farming with the team of Eva Fernandez Rodriguez, Sarah Okba, and Elise Kana. Congratulations.
Woo! Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So actually, Zara, maybe you'd like to share a few words with us?
Actually, we are honored and humbled to be receiving the third prize, and we are very grateful for the recognition and for receiving actually for our work, because we were very sure that everyone deserves this, and thank you so much.
Thank you again to you, and congratulations to you and the whole team for your efforts with the Farming by Satellite Prize 2020 application. So now we have the second place announcement. Now the second place winners of the Farming by Satellite Prize 2020 will receive €3,000 to share amongst the team. Now, to announce this prize, I would like to invite Hans back to the virtual stage. Are you there, Hans?
Yes, I'm there, Florentina. So, the second place winner of the Farming by Satellite Prize 2020 is a unique web application that's to support farmers to identify crop borders, crop stress, and to guide tractor paths for optimal fertilization and irrigation. They combine Copernicus Sentinel-2 data and Galileo signals to generate prescription maps and guide farmers with actionable insights to improve their activities in the field. Our congratulations go to Genuine, with the team of Valeria Belloni, Virginia Coletta, Marco Fortunato, and Michela Ravanelli. Congratulations to the team.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are so proud.
Congratulations, everyone. Marco, please share a few words with us.
First of all, thank you all for this second place. I would like to thank you, all the teams and all the other researchers in our division. And last but not least, our tutor. Without them, we couldn't think about a better solution than Genuine. So thank you all.
Thank you again, Marco, and our congratulations to you and the whole team. Now, the overall prize the overall winners will receive a prize of €5,000. And I would like to invite Fiammetta Diani back to the virtual stage for this final overall winner announcement. Are you with us, Fiammetta?
Yes, I am. Thanks, Florentina. So it's my pleasure to announce our overall winner. So the overall winner of the Farming by Satellite Prize 2020 aims to help conserve one of the most precious resources in our planet, the water. Maybe we forget that 1/3 of the water in Europe is used for agriculture. So this is indeed a very important goal for our